Alright, lesson 17, meters, meter verification, prover tank. Introduction, accountable to the fuel, the most important aspect of operation of the field. Using meters accountable, the most be understanding how they work in orderly particular of the meter and ensure the proper calibrated type of the meters of that. You keep the track of the amount of the fuel with the flow of the section of the pipe line in or out of the storage tank of the tank or the tank vehicles. The used meter can cut down the loss during the fuel receive the deliveries, positive displacement of the meter with the name of the imply with the positive displacement of the meters moved, a measure of the flow with the separating the flow stream with the volumetric segment with the counting them. Design and construct for the typical three basic assault by some of the positive displacement with the external housing, the pressure vessel with the inlet and outlet connection meters made with the single double case for the construction, single K for the pressure valve with the outer wall with the measuring element, small meters less than 6 inches, normal single K for the double case construction, even the meters over 6 inches, the inch for the double case construction, piping strip for the pressure is not measuring element, internal measuring element, the measure of the volumetric flow of the constantly separating flow stream, the discrete volumetric segment of the counting them, and is also the drive of the counter drive train with the counter totalizer with the gear ratio of the drive train design with the convert the fixed volume per revolution number of the gallon with the pair over the transmitter to the counter, the calibrator adjuster with the adjust the counter the slippage when they through the meter. There's maybe you the meter with the also have the authorized tolerance operation maintenance together the design of the positive displacement meter. It must be protected from the dirt and traffic. Any solid material passing through the meter will call it the malfunction. The meter will register the any of the passing through the housing. The clearance between the housing and the vein usually is 4,000 of an inch to 5,000 of an inch. Because of the simplicity positive displacement meter, the most commonly used with the petroleum operations review master meters in play for the provers. Turbine meters. The turbine meters are precise measuring device, even though they are classified with the inferior rates. They go on simple measuring device with a very complex instrument, the very small, very much smaller than the positive displacement meter. The three basic, the subassembly, the conventional turbine meter, the design construction meter, how the meter housing assembly construct with the flange pipe, spool housing, the internal part of the heart, with the internal part of the subassembly, the rotor blade suspended with the following stream of the part, form bearing rotor shaft. Detector subassembly more complicated meter they have with the viscosity compensator with the magnetic reed switch that is in come with the meter flow is corrected in 50 degrees Fahrenheit operating and maintenance. Whether the meters installed with the must have the straightening vein with the upstream with the downstream of the meter with the pipe, the usually 5 pipe with the diameters of long downstream with the 10 pipe with the upstream diameters upstream of the prevents and flew swirl cavitation due to back pressure with the will cover the meter with the low accuracy reference to the API standard 2534 with a meter with the accurate to 1/10 of the or 1% of the U of the custody transfer. However, the meter requirements loss maintenance, the expertise that generally not U of the military turbine meter, the positive displacement meter, the rigorous air without any obstruction with the trash who can affect the flow. The meter made must be protected while the operation protective device is considered the air eliminators basket type strands, but this we'll discuss later. Alright, inferential rate meter of the instrument whose primary element off orifice plate will be placed in the flowing of the stream in favor of the flow rate with the physical laws pressure drop based on the velocity of the fuel. The orifice plate with the machine the exact tolerance to the secondary element you with the record quantity of the fuel passing through the meter. Consider the piping housing low pressure ceiling pots for the 24-hour recording chart. The 24-hour chart registers the velocity of the fuel based on the pressure drop of the flow with the barrels over the 24-hour period of operation maintenance. When a meter is installed, they must have the straightening veins upstream and downstream of the length of the pipe, depending on the size of the type of the valve. The meter required with the protection of the trash and the flowing the stream of the line strainers. The meter is required with a great deal of the maintenance, the expertise to keep proper operating condition. Or if it's meters or even in pipelines where the interface matches need not to be monitored. Protective device, the line strainer. The line strainer is different the metal housing which hold the containers, the shape of the wire, shape of the mesh. The strainer of the mesh is usually 25 meshes or more. Usually the liners use the suction side with the pump on the side of the meters, preventing the prevere entering the pump with the damaging impeller meter. The maintenance of the line strainer should be inspected clean on a periodic basis. Recommended once a week. The gasket chairs for the damage clean. And returns reuse the air eliminators. Description of the use of the air eliminators are placed in line with the inside take of the intake side of the meter. Consider the cylinder usually 14-20 inches of the diameter, containing the baffle designed with the force of flow of the fuel at the bottom of the cylinder, air to the top. On the top of the cylinder, diaphragm flow the tax bleach activated valve. Float hold the valve open, allow the air vapor to escape the atmosphere while the air is removed. The float rising when the product closes the valve. The maintenance the flange gasket should be checked with daily for the leak of the diaphragm valve. Should be checked with the daily and should properly be replaced, and if needed, remove any rust and paint proving devices. Provers are even installed whether they calibrate meters of the pipeline locking device, dock for dispensing air. The maintenance meter very limited to check with the density distortion, make it the site of the glass the good in working order. Attention, make sure that the thermometers are certified for proving cans or field strainers. Test measures with all meters can be verified running through another meter. 5 to 10 gallon graduated can be removed with a tank that handles the exact amount of fuel. Mechanical displacement proof of the calibrated continuous loop of the spheroid sphere display for the number of the volume of the number of the one sensor for the number of the two sensor for the amount of the display of the compared in the meter reading limit time of the kind of the meter with a fixed installation that may be controller mounted. Open volumetric proof of the proof of the can be tailored amount of the fixed insulation. They call the strand tank of the neck of the proofer, the splash dome, the overlapping side of the gauge glass, the gauge glass scale in the tank of the neck of the proof of the thermometers, and at the top of the bottom open volume proof. There's one for the field with the stand proof of the Army Petroleum facility. The IPDS field of the proofer is no longer used. Alright, meter insulation. Typical meter insulation would be set up as follows. The direction flow is the direction flow is greater than the items in order A, B, C, and D. Filter, strainer, air, filter, separator, strainer, air, eliminator, meter. The strainer is a downstream filter separator in case of the ruptured element. The strainer will catch the fiberglass filter paper that might get into the meter from the cover that to hang off. This would also be the strainer system and the suction side of the pump that will prevent any of the trash entering the filter separator. Alright, verification requirements. Meters must be verified based on the following factors: size of the meter, gallons per minute, the total gallons measured. Every meter must be verified 12 months. Every 12 months, whenever the meter is suspected, with whichever comes first. The meter must be in the 25 ten thousandths, or 1/4 of a gallon every 400 gallons required. With the master meter, the meter is often the tolerance for the 25 ten thousandths. Must be adjusted, taken out, so that it can be out to be done, but it may be with a factor for the adjust the meter to register the reading of the gallons pumped. The instruction for the adjusting meter normally placed inside of the top of the cover of the manufacturer's manual. Considerations. A meter should be approved with normal installation, expect with the operating rates falling under the pressure and temperature of the will, operate with the liquid with the will, measure the situation whether not practical to approve the meter with liquid to be measured. The meter should be provided with liquid having density API gravity viscosity code for the possible of the liquid to be measured. A meter that measures the several different liquids should be approved with each for the such liquid. Proving of the meter is likely the laboratory test will probably be done when they provide with a high degree of the repetitivity which is necessary for the measurement of accurate to maintain with the detail of the meter piping and the proving contributed to the measurement. Uncertainty with the determining physical of the property of the measuring liquid, temperature, corrosion, trapped air through the inspection of the proof of the air prudency that should be made sufficiently frequency and ensure the properties reproducibility proving the result. Essential the meter performance data observed with the recorded and studying the calculation to be correct. Preparation of the prover must have the capacity no less than the volume delivered from the meter in 1 10 minute with exemption 5 to 10 gallons proof that can where meters verified field accuracy. Fill proof and then empty with the zero mark of the dry run with the remove the air pocket in line with the warmers and the meter during the dry run. The time and the flow rate can be determined. All gauge thermometers will be checked accuracy. All fittings and valves will be checked for leaks. Verification record and reports meters and test results. Meter certification record. The meter certification record. The conjunction with the meter test result and the proof of the meters have been properly recorded, calibrated. The certification of the included the volumetric proof of this is not even the type of the proof. It include the only necessary meters data. The meter varied, meter factor of 25 thousandths, 10 thousandths, verification adjustment not recorded, performance date recorded, not performed. If the adjustments recorded, not performed, meter of the factor should be adjusted. All they should use the meter verification record. 7 remarks. Any repair adjustment that the meter should be recorded, signed in, calculation verified by date and date. Conducting of the meter verification, return the meter to zero, meter reading to zero. Fail to prove with the stop flowing with the close with the zero mark with a graduated neck. If possible, fuel cut line must be graduated neck. Check. Look at the meter reading, and in order the meter will be within tolerance, the meter should read within the nearest tenth of the gallon for proof of the capacity of it. If the meter with the tolerance, continue to arrive. If the meter is not within tolerance, discontinue. If the report organizational maintenance for the calibration, the repair, or replacement. That was lesson 17. Lesson 18: Petroleum handling equipment.